Hello from quarantine. I hope everyone's doing well today. My name is Grace Allen, and I'm going to be doing my informative speech on the art of color theory. Through my speech, I'm hoping to show you the basics of color theory as well as give you some better knowledge and maybe a basic understanding of how color theory works. Now, I know that color is something we learn young, along with our letters and numbers and shapes and all that fun stuff. However, I feel like we can expand upon colors through the usage of color theory. That being said, I've split this up into about 3 or 4 different sections that I hope will be able to help you better understand color theory. And without further ado, our first section is primary colors. So, a primary color is one of the 3 original colors, as I like to call them, and through mixing them you're able to come up with other colors such as the primary colors, but we'll get into that later. We have 3 main primary colors: red, blue, and yellow. Our first primary color is red. Now, red is a fan favorite of many people. I know quite a few people, including my mother, whose favorite color is red. However, some people don't like it as much. I'm one of those people, but if you like it, perfectly okay. Red is considered a warm color, meaning we associate it with warmer tones and warmer things, such as fire. Now, red has a complementary color of green. The next color is blue. Blue is another fan favorite. Personally, blue is one of my favorites. Blue is a cool color in comparison to red, meaning we tend to identify it with cooler things and cooler tones. One example being maybe cool water on a hot day. Blue has a complementary color of orange. Next up is yellow. Yellow is not as liked as red and blue. Personally, it's not one of my favorites, but I know some people that do like it, and it is their favorite. Totally fine. Yellow is another warm color like red, so we associate it with warmer tones and things. One example is the sun, which we're finally seeing again. I'm very happy about that. Yellow's complementary color is purple. Next up, we have secondary colors. Now, secondary colors are achieved through mixing 2 primary colors together. And secondary colors and primary colors make up most of our color wheel. So we have 3 main secondary colors, just like primary colors: purple, green, and orange. Now, if you've ever talked to someone about colors, then you know that they always say that purple people are a different breed. My favorite color is purple. I don't know if that's correct, but we'll go with it. Purple is another cool color, and its opposite color is yellow. Purple and violet are oftentimes mixed up. However, it's important to note that purple and violet are indeed 2 different colors. Violet is instead a tertiary color, which is coming up soon, and purple is, of course, a secondary color. Next up, we have green. Now, green, if you've ever lived on this planet, which I'm sure we all have and do, is everywhere. You see it in the trees, the grass, the plants, even our food. Green is another cool color, so it's associated with blue and purple. Its complementary color is red, and there's actually quite an odd thing with green is we associate it as a cool color even though it's seen a lot more in the warmer seasons, so I think that's pretty interesting. Lastly, for secondary colors, we have the color orange. Now, orange is another warm color, so we group it with red and yellow. Orange is, just like yellow, not everyone's favorite. It's not my cup of tea personally, but if you like it, totally fine. That's all good and dandy. Orange is another warm color, like I said. I associate it with autumn and like fall leaves and that kind of season, but you can also associate it with the fruit, rightfully so. Next we have tertiary colors. Now, tertiary colors are a bit different. I've split them up into 2 separate sections, and the separate sections are what is a tertiary color and how to make a tertiary color. So, without further ado, A tertiary color is the result of mixing a primary and secondary color. Now, some tertiary colors could be considered muted and not as vibrant as other colors you'll see. However, that's not always the case. As you see in the picture I provided in my slide, they are the colors that lie in between the primary and secondary colors. And all the colors that have an arrow pointing to them in the slide are tertiary colors. So, next up, how to make tertiary colors. Like I mentioned, you make a tertiary color by mixing a primary color and a secondary color together. The prominent tertiary colors are vermilion, magenta, chartreuse, amber, turquoise cyan, and violet. Now, to make vermilion, you would mix red and orange, magenta, red and purple, yellow and green is chartreuse, yellow and orange is amber, which I always associate with, if you've ever seen Jurassic Park and you know the old man character who has the amber on top of his cane, I always associate that color with that. I think it's a fun little thing. Blue and purple is violet. Once again, purple and violet, two different things. And lastly, blue and green is turquoise cyan. And cyan, funnily enough, I always associate with Minecraft because of the default skin Steve's shirt color is cyan. So, next I have a couple interesting facts that I thought would be fun to say. The first one is from Color to Art by Koenig and Collins. And it says, the first color theory principles appeared as early as the 15th century with greater prominence beginning in the 18th century. So it's been around a while, but it was only really looked into during the 18th century. The next is found on Best Life, and the article was by Alex Daniel. And it says, seeing red while taking an exam can negatively affect you in results. Now, this has been scientifically proven that even just seeing a little hint of red somewhere can give you a little bit of anxiety or a little panic, and it can alter how you feel during taking an exam. So if you can rid yourself of all red while you're taking an exam, it may even help you out. And the rest of these facts that I have are from UC Creative, and the article is by Patrick Eliassis. And so we have yellow and red are known to be the most appetizing colors, explaining why you see them used in food chains like McDonald's and Burger King. We see those colors as appetizing, so they make sure to use those in their advertising. The world's most popular color is blue, according to many studies done. So going back to what I said, blue's definitely a fan favorite. The first color that the baby sees is the color red, and I found this one really interesting. I don't know how they came to this conclusion or how they tested this. It has been studied and it has been proven. I don't know how, but it is. I thought that was interesting. And the next one is the fact that bulls hate the color red is in fact a complete myth. It's not true. You know, on the TV shows and Looney Tunes and the movies where they show the little matador waving the red cape, it will not cause the bull to have anger or become upset. Red does not do that to bull. It's all a fact. It's all a complete misconception. And black is the absence of all color and is often not even considered a color, is my last fact. Now, this is debated upon among this kind of thing because you can be painting and use the color black and say, oh, I'm using the color black. But at the same time, black is the absence of all colors, so how can you consider it a color? So that's just a little thing that's, well, debated upon. There's all my interesting facts, and mix, I have some colors that I meant to do in class, but because we're not in class, I get to do now. Now for this section, I have angled my camera down so that you can see what I'm doing a little bit better, and I took some yellow and some blue and created a nice little green there, as you can see. And my Works Cited page for you, and I hope that you have learned some things from my speech and maybe gained a little bit of more knowledge on color theory, and I hope you have a wonderful day.